When I turned 65, I threw a party for the family. No one came. I had spent weeks preparing for it. I cleaned the house until every corner sparkled, dusted the shelves, fluffed the old armchair cushions, and even mopped the hardwood floor twice. I baked a lemon pound cake from scratch, just the way my late wife Margaret used to make it. I decorated the dining room with yellow balloons, her favorite color, and set the table with the old floral china we had received as a wedding gift all those years ago. My name is Walter Jennings. I served 33 years as a high school history teacher in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I raised two sons, Matthew and James, and tried to be the kind of father who always showed up at soccer games, school plays, dentist appointments, you name it. After Margaret passed, I kept myself going by holding on to our traditions. One of them was the birthday dinner. She always made sure my birthday was special, even when I didn't want the fuss. This year, I thought I'd bring everyone together again. I hadn't seen Matthew or James in months. Life gets busy, I get that, but I was hopeful. I texted and called each of them 3 weeks in advance. Just something small, I said. I'll cook dinner and we'll play cards like old times. I even invited their families, especially the grandkids. I missed their laughter echoing through the halls. The day came. I wore my favorite blue flannel shirt and combed back my thinning white hair with care. The roast was in the oven, vegetables steaming gently on the stovetop. The cake was cooling on the counter. I glanced at the clock, 5:30 p.m., the time I told them to arrive. I sat by the window, watching the driveway. The sun dipped slowly beyond the trees, and with each passing minute, hope began to drain from my chest like a slow leak from a flat tire. At 6:15, I texted Matthew, running late. No reply. At 6:30, I called James. Straight to voicemail. I waited until 8 o'clock before accepting that no one was coming. I blew out the single candle I'd placed on the cake, not bothering to make a wish. I sliced myself a piece and ate it in silence at the table meant for 6. I poured a glass of wine, the fancy kind I'd saved for a special occasion, and I drank it alone, listening to the hum of the refrigerator. Just as I was clearing the dishes, the doorbell rang. My heart leapt. Maybe someone had made it after all. I hurried to the front door and opened it. Standing there in the soft glow of the porch light was my daughter-in-law, Rachel. She was married to Matthew. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail, and she wore a light cardigan over jeans. In her arms, she held a large paper bag. "Hi, Dad," she said gently. My eyes widened in surprise. "Rachel, what are you doing here? Where's Matthew?" Her face tightened for a moment, then softened into an expression I couldn't quite read. "Can I come in?" I stepped aside, and she entered the house. The scent of roast beef still lingered in the air. "I'm sorry no one came," she said quietly, placing the bag on the counter. I didn't know what to say. My mouth opened, then closed again. "Me too," I finally muttered, the weight of the evening settling on my shoulders. She unpacked the bag without asking, containers of soup, a loaf of fresh bread, a bottle of red wine, and a small chocolate cake from the bakery on Elm Street. "I didn't know if you'd cooked, but I thought I'd bring something just in case." "I did cook," I replied, voice hoarse, "but thank you." She turned to face me, her blue eyes serious. "I need to talk to you." "All right," I said, gesturing toward the living room. We sat down on the sofa. I could feel the years between us, unspoken misunderstandings, time lost. Rachel looked down at her hands. "Matthew didn't come because he's upset. So is James. But that doesn't excuse them, and I told them that." I frowned. "Upset? About what?" She inhaled slowly, choosing her words. "They think you've been distant, disconnected since Margaret passed. They say it feels like you pushed them away." The words hit me harder than I expected. I felt the sting of guilt crawl up my spine. I didn't mean to," I said, voice cracking. "After she died, I didn't know how to go on. Every room in this house reminded me of her. Sometimes I couldn't get out of bed, but I always picked up the phone when they called. I came to the birthdays, the holidays." "I know," she said. "I saw it. But they didn't. They wanted more. They didn't know how to help you, and I think I think they just gave up trying. Tears welled up in my eyes. I turned away to wipe them. I'm not angry. I thought today might bring us back together. Rachel reached out and took my hand. It still can. We sat in silence for a moment, the kind of silence that isn't empty but full of pain, of regret, of love unspoken. Then something unexpected happened. Rachel stood up, walked to the kitchen, and lit the candle on the store-bought chocolate cake. She brought it back into the living room, set it down, and sang happy birthday in a soft, shaky voice. I laughed through my tears. Well, I said, I guess it's not a total bust after all. That night, she stayed. We talked for hours about Margaret, about the boys, about life. She told me stories I'd never heard before, about how scared she was when she first married Matthew, how Margaret had made her feel at home, how she missed her too. In the morning, I found a message from James. Sorry about yesterday, Dad.
Can we talk?
Then another from Matthew. Rachel told me she stopped by.
I'm sorry.
I should have been there. Can I come over this weekend? Maybe it wasn't the party I had planned. But maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of something better.